This E3 special report is sponsored by iRacing.com.
Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Jessica Lopez, and this is our E3 2011 special report on Fanatec. We're going to take a look at some of the new gear that they had on display at the show, including 2 new wheels, 2 pedals, and a handbrake. And on top of all that, we got some exclusive first looks at some things that may blow you guys right out of your sim seat. I also got an interview with Mr. T himself of Fanatec. First up, I'm going to pass it to the guys, and they're going to tell you all about this new lineup of Fanatec products.
All right, well, we're here to tell you about all the Fanatec gear that was on display at E3. And we're going to go in order from basically the lowest price to the highest price of the things that we saw and give you our quick take. We didn't get to really try any of them for more than really a few minutes.
Yeah, very quickly.
On each one of them. I think we got to try each thing except the pedals. We did get to look at the pedals, look at them pretty closely and just kind of check out the mechanism and stuff like that. But let's start with the handbrake.
Okay.
The handbrake is mountable in 2 different configurations. The way he had it was basically straight up, rally style.
Yeah, you can mount the main box either straight onto something like this or down onto something like that.
So you can pull it up.
So you can pull it up like that, or you can have it like that in any way you mount it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we tried it this way, and this is not a button that you're pulling on.
No, it's not.
This is an analog, like a potentiometer or something that,
like your pedals. So,
Yeah.
I mean, from
It's an
nothing to full.
Man, I want that thing for some Dirt 3 action. Richard Burns, whatever. Feels great. Supposedly going to be for $99. So
Pretty
cool.
amazing. And also drifting. Anybody who's into drifting, and regardless of what thing, that's
a-
another thing you have to have for drifting is an e-brake. Or
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a
Handbrake.
pretty big hole in the market. I don't,
Yeah.
Now,
So simple, but it works so great.
Now, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to plug these into the pedals and use them on a console too. I'm not sure.
I've taken the Clubsport pedals apart, and I know that there is a handbrake port, a little tiny 4-pin port in the Clubsport pedals. So I'm going to bet that that'll adapt to that, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one.
So next up, the pedals. There was 2 types of pedals, and I'm not sure of how they're going to go. I know they're going to be CSR pedals, but I think one's an Elite version, one's not.
Yeah.
The CSR pedals are basically Clubsports, but there's some hard, heavy-duty plastic integrated,
Yeah.
and it's just a different setup.
Yeah, they still have a load cell in the brake, but there's a potentiometer in the clutch and the gas, and it's actuated by a little plastic gear.
Like a toothed tongue.
Yeah.
It was the strangest little gear.
Like a rack.
Yeah, that's it.
And then, Shaun, you saw a set of pedals behind closed doors that Thomas had told us about.
These were insane. These are something that all of us are going to be dying for in the future. This is a set of pedals that actually can be mounted either regular or inverted, but in the Clubsport type way. So, and you could do just about any pedal. So the way I saw them, they actually had the gas pedal was still mounted on the floor, and the brake and the clutch were inverted, sort of like a car you know very well.
The 914.
That's the car.
Flatbug. You guys in the Flatbug, jeez. So not only do they have the pedals and the handbrake, 2 different wheels were on display here. Both were at the Forza 4 booth. One of them was actually at the running F1 2011, and one was at the Playseat booth, just sitting static. The first one, which we were just talking about, was the CSR. Basically, that is the GT2 internals, from what I understand, with some modifications, I believe, to the shaft mechanism. But definitely difference coming out of the base unit.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
To the base of the wheel. That's a totally different mechanism, much different wheel. The paddle shifters were one of the biggest, huge improvements.
Yeah.
Very similar to like a G25 or G27 paddle, thin aluminum.
Yep.
Long paddles.
Moves with the wheel.
Moves with the wheel, right in, within reach.
Again, something that I saw that I didn't notice until I internalized it later.
Same here.
Yeah.
We didn't think about it. And I looked right at him. I was sitting.
So did I. Yeah, I took pictures of them.
Yeah, and I was sitting there getting ready to drive, looking at the paddles, but didn't register till later. I'm like, wait a second.
That was easy. That was great.
That wheel did not have Fanatec paddles on it or buttons like that we're used to.
The other thing they didn't have, comparing it to like a GT2, is that big airbag-looking Porsche middle part.
The wheel. very light, very nimble.
Yeah. And ergonomic still. So, I mean, I like that. It was a little polished, kind of plasticky across the top, which wasn't as high-end as some of his other products. But it was, I mean, an amazing wheel.
And still had little, like, Alcantara pads where your palms and thumbs would sit.
Which I liked, actually.
Yeah.
All the buttons and a joystick from an Xbox 360 wheel.
Yeah.
Obviously, Xbox 360 compatible.
Yeah.
Which leads us next to the Elite wheel.
Yes.
Which this wheel's, man, been surfacing in different forms everywhere. There was a picture of it on the net about a week ago at an Audi deal that Thomas did. At least I think it was this wheel. But now here it is. Thomas shows up with it that night. We were in shock. He's like, look what I brought. He brings this Elite wheel. Forza branded, painted red, and it's got a very similar wheel to the CSR. Is it the identical wheel?
It looks like the same wheel with some carbon fiber over it. Maybe.
Yeah, same wheel pretty much.
But the body is a completely different world.
Oh, yes.
This thing has like a worm drive that's similar to like a Frex.
Yeah.
But like half the length of a Frex.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's actually delivering any force feedback. I think that's just a position sensor. Oh, I don't know.
I'm not
There's
sure
a
either.
What
lot
I
of
like,
things
the
going
important
on.
thing, it looks so cool that it got an acrylic window like a Ferrari would do for a motor.
Look inside of here.
Yeah, because it's worth it. They should put a little light inside as well.
There's two belts inside of there. There's a big flywheel. There's an optical sensor for position. So I really don't know what the worm screw is doing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either. And one of the things I know Thomas was trying to alleviate in this wheel was something called cogging. And when you turn the T500 or even his other Fanatec wheels, you feel like almost a little bit of notchiness. And it's because of the belt mechanism.
Yeah.
There is none of that in this wheel. This is one of the smoothest steering mechanisms that I've felt in sim racing.
Yeah, it just feels like the wheel's sitting on a bearing, and you're just turning it against a bearing, which is made to
Great.
roll smoothly. So, I mean, amazing feel.
Similar paddle shifters to the ones we were talking about on the almost identical paddle shifters to the ones we were just talking about on the CSR wheel. Prices still not clear. As far as I know, this is going to be a modular setup. So you're going to buy the wheel by itself, a set of pedals, a shifter, whatever you want. But I heard $700, and I'm not sure if that's with the pedals and shifter or just the wheel itself.
I don't know.
Well, at that quality, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the wheel itself. But knowing Fanatec, he likes to throw some things in there.
There's
So you
bundles
never know.
everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just in feeling, two names I'll throw out, ECCI and Frex. And this wheel is closer to those than it is a Logitech wheel.
Or a T500,
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is a step above the Logitech.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Man, Thomas, you have stepped it up with that wheel.
Yeah, hurry up and send a bunch of those over here.
Yeah. Hey, why aren't we testing those for you, Thomas? What the heck? So there's the new lineup that was shown here on the E3 floor. Back at the E3 floor. We're at our studio, obviously. Hope you enjoyed our first look at it and our take on what we thought. We'll have more here. Thomas, he'll be sending us all this stuff, and we'll be reviewing it here on the show.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
iRacing.com is the premier online racing simulation featuring head-to-head competition on your PC. Race from your home PC, competing on the world's best real-world cars and tracks. Thousands of race fans and scores of pro racers like Dale Jr. and Justin Wilson are already racing at iRacing. Experience the thrill of victory yourself and go racing today at iRacing.com.
Hope you guys have enjoyed taking a look at all the new products that Fanatec will be bringing to you very soon. In the meantime, I have this interview to show you guys with Mr. T, some tech guy over at Fanatec, who looked a little familiar, but he was quite the character, let me tell you, and probably the most interesting interview I've had since I've been on the show. There's also a special appearance by Paul Jeal of Codemasters in this interview, and it took place at their booth where the guys checked out F1 2011, and I spoke with Mr. T. Here's the interview. Hey guys, I'm Jessica, and I'm here with Mr. T of Fanatec. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us here at Inside Sim Racing. We're going to talk about some of the new wheels that are out by Fanatec and are here at E3. First off, the CSR wheel, which we've seen down at the Forza booth, is that wheel going to be compatible with the PS3 and the PC as well?
Yeah, this is not disclosed yet, but I have information that this is probably true.
Okay, so it's not only for the Xbox 360. And when will that wheel be available?
Well, rumors say that that will be by the end of this year. Could be, yeah.
Do we have a price?
Well, that hasn't been disclosed either, but maybe something around 320 to 700.
Now, for that price, is it coming with the pedals and the shifter, or is it going to be modular?
We have the company has a modular system. Yeah, we keep it like we always used to, having shifters and pedals and everything separate. So there will be you have the choice of 4 pedals and 4 shifters and the handbrake, so you can get whatever you want, or you can also upgrade your existing wheels. And yeah, so it really depends on what you like to have. And so the price range is anything from the wheel only and up to a full package with 700 is actually for a shifter and a pedal and the wheel.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the CSR Elite, which I seen down there. It's a beauty. It's see-through. You can see inside. It's made completely of metal, correct?
Yeah, it's completely made of metal. That's what our CEO disclosed yesterday on this blog. So yes.
Tell me a little bit more about that wheel. Why is it the Elite versus the, over the CSR? What makes it different?
It's made out of metal, so it's more heavy, and that's also more precise. And the mechanics CNC machined, and the sensors mounted directly on the steering axis, which makes it we separate the force feedback and the steering axis. So that makes it much more precise. It's better than having a sensor directly mounted, because there is no slack and no interference from the belt drives. That's a big difference. So it's about feeling and precision.
Will this CSR Elite also be available at the end of the year?
Yes, that's our target. Well, we always keep our shipping dates usually. That's I think, yes, we are very, very confident this time.
Okay, well, speaking of shipping dates, you know that there's a lot of people out there that have pre-ordered wheels from Fanatec in the past and have been waiting or have had trouble receiving their wheel. Can you tell us?
Yeah, you need to ask our CEO about that. I can't tell anything about that. It's not my responsibility. You can ask this guy.
Are you guys going to be getting more people in your customer service department to help out with that?
Well, it's probably a good idea. Yeah. So yeah, we will have more people on the service. We have localized service, different languages, having a better customer relationship management software in the background, having new websites. All this, I mean, it's just not about making new products. It's definitely also getting the back end together and improving the service.
And with the CSR Elite, what's the price point on that wheel expected to be?
Did you ask me that before?
For the CSR Elite.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be the same price?
It's a very small difference. It's just about double.
Small, right?
Yeah, but you get what you pay for. It's like is a Bugatti double the time faster than usual Ferrari? It's not. I mean, it's just if you are at the very top end of the quality level, prices are actually exponentially going up.
But there's no specific price point for that wheel yet.
This 500.
Okay, I think that was 500. I think it was somewhere around 500 from what I heard. But okay, so let's talk a little bit about the shifter. You mentioned the Clubsport shifter a little while ago, about that coming separate from the wheel, and a lot of people that love Fanatec have been wondering, where's the new Clubsport shifter? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, what I did? No, I mean this Thomas guy. Who's
Thomas?
He's our CEO. I mean, he said something about the Clubsport shifter. I'm just a technical guy, but I have some, because he was not bringing out the Clubsport shifter news. So I was saying, oh well, all these poor fans out there, we gotta show them something. A lot of people are expecting something, so that's why I brought some. I printed out some pictures.
Okay, well let's take a look.
And here is picture number 1. So that's a close up. That's a close up of the Clubsport shifter. So it's totally metal, and that's a bottom plate. And actually, you can now, probably some engineers will understand how that works. You can mount 4 screws on each side of the shifter, and you can also mount it from the bottom sides. And there is more to come. Well, that's a little bit more like it. And here's the real deal.
The real deal.
Yeah, so that's the Clubsport shifter.
That's all?
Oh yeah. Well,
Do we have a price or a release date for that shifter?
the price was always our target was 99, and we are confident to keep that. So the release date is later.
Later, before the end of the year?
Which year?
This year. 2011.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the target. I can't tell on anything on that, to be honest. But we know that a lot of people are looking for that. So definitely that's our target, to have it ready by the end of. But we have a lot of projects going on.
Speaking of a lot of projects, other than the 2 wheels that we've spoke about here, the CSR and the CSR Elite and the Clubsport shifter, there's been some word going around that there's another wheel somewhere out there. Can you confirm or deny that?
What are you talking about? Did the Codemasters Twitter something again?
Exactly.
What did they say? No, I strictly have to deny any existence of another wheel. There will be no such a wheel, like a Clubsport wheel or whatever you might call it. So definitely nothing going on like that. Yeah. So, Paul.
Okay, well, with all these new products coming out, how can people that are interested in purchasing any of these products stay up to date on their release date and their prices and when and where they're able to buy them?
Actually, a pretty good source of information is, beside Inside Sim Racing, is our blog, the blog of Thomas. So it's 911wheel.com, which we probably have to change now. It's a stupid name for
But in the meantime, it's 911wheel.com.
Yes, on the new website, actually, the blog will be integrated in Fanatec.com. So, but we are not ready yet.
Okay, well, all the viewers can just stay posted to Inside Sim Racing or visit 911wheel.com, and we'll let you know as soon as the products are available. And thank you, Mr. T, for giving us all that information today.
Yeah, I'm in big trouble now, but I think, you all deserve that. So, yes, and thank you, Jessica.
So there you guys have it, our look at Fanatec and all of their products over at E3 2011. I don't know if you guys caught the end of that interview, but it looked like Paul was holding an F1 wheel with a quick release. And then Mr. T mentioned a Clubsport wheel. So I wonder if any of those two have anything to do with each other. We'll keep you guys posted here at Inside Sim Racing. Make sure you head on over to our website, InsideSimRacing.tv. We have a page devoted to Fanatec, and we'll keep you up to date on everything going on over there. That's going to wrap things up. I'm Jessica Lopez. Checker Flag is out, and so am I.